Okay, well, Bleedout and Gospel. I did give the intro just a bit ago, and we're going to be heading straight into. Hold on. Might be a lobby bug, but what we were supposed to go into was straight into an unknown set, which I believe is on Almond Lake Mine, if I'm not mistaken. So that was something fairly fresh for me to witness. But of course, Gohan, being start of season 3 and all, um, everything's going to be fresh, with all the bouncing and yeah.
Yeah, especially with the new map as well. Unknown being now on the Ormond Lake mine instead of his previous maps. Hold on, let me get that up real quick. Because I believe he was on Wrecker's Yard originally. So we are still trying to load into the lobby. Something might have gone a little bit wrong. Not sure though. This is a bit awkward. Oh no, there we go. And the lobby crashed, I believe.
Yep. So it's just
Okay,
going to be.
so yeah, so it won't be that long. All we have to do is we just have to have our streamer run ready and then go back to spectator, and we'll be right back very soon. We honestly we could probably just keep talking because all our all our streamer has to do is just go back to spectator. So while while they fix that up and load back into the game, okay, yeah, then now they're loading in. So we may as well just describe on who's playing what. So we got Cash on Jake, we have New on Nancy, Syzygy or Sizz on Kate, and we have the big man Starzy on Nia with a very interesting outfit, I must add.
I guess I believe those it's a mix of three different outfits, so something that I like doing myself is mixing three different outfits, but it's been a while since I've seen that those pants, which I believe are like the chili, like the bone chill pants. But anyway, we're loading into, I believe, hopefully going to be a non-crash worthy game of the Ormond Lake Mine, which I think honestly I've seen come and creep into comp fairly recently since its release. Whenever Handmaster was, I've forgotten already. But it's actually, yeah, it's actually come in fairly fresh, and I think people are accepting it fairly well. As JD does load in on the shack side. Um, Definitely something to note about this map is its size. So like somewhat similar to the normal Ormond. But then there's also that downstairs area, Gohan, and I actually haven't played this map too much. Have you played like the downstairs that much? Like how strong is it?
I have played it in pubs, and it is a very interesting tile to like go down there because there isn't a lot there, but I believe there's like a singular pallet down there, and then it's just like a bunch of like scenery. But it's not that doesn't look that bad down there. But it's usually the top side you're playing around, just like it is on the Lich's Borgo map. You never really want to go downstairs on that map. Honestly, it's just pain to go through all those teleports. But we do see JD finally getting those first chase onto Cash here. He is going to be trying his best to not get hit with the UVX. Is he going to be able to hit through the window? He just misses it through the window, so we'll go back over towards you, Tavi, for the rest of this chase to see what Cash can do.
Yeah, I mean, Cash is playing this really nicely. I mean, I've seen him chase for quite a bit, and he's kind of come in fairly recently. But I like the Jake outfit anyway. It's nice and comp worthy. But there's so much time bought for Gospel, and we can see here that the Shack Gen is already nearing the 70% mark with the double coming in, and even Starzy is able to get. Sorry, not Starzy. Nu is also able to get a really good amount of progress into that other generator, I believe, near where this chase is happening. And Starzy does unfortunately take a UVX to the back, and he's a little bit zoned away from everything. Has to go for the jukes here, but JD playing really patient with the edge map. The last pixel is not going to come through, and Starzy takes a fairly safe M1 here. So really nice start for our survivors, and hopefully they can keep this up because they can. Then they're looking really strong going into their killer side.
Yeah, indeed it is, and we do make it over here to what I like to call silo, personally, because it does look like a silo. So I usually call it silo personally. I don't know what the actual call out is. Whoever, surely someone out there in the chat probably knows what it's actually called. But we will see how we go. So we do see the first down happen onto Starzy, but two gens popped for it though. So that is looking kind of grim. So we'll just have to see what. Oh, and there goes. Was that Ruin or was that Undying? Because I don't know if he has. Does he have both?
I believe it was just the ruin that was cleansed off there, and JD kind of, I think it's alright with that. Of course, bringing the option, kind of accepted that ruin getting cleansed allows your secondary perk to activate, but it's a fairly fast unhook coming in onto Starzy, so that's an attempted will make it reset as well, and it's going to come through because JD could not swing around in time, so that, I don't know if that was like a really huge play, but potentially Cash has a second win that was just activated off that. Starzy takes another UVX to the back to pops the life, try and get away from this, but it's in a bit of a... Oh my god, JD, what a beautiful snipe.
Yes, very, very clean bounce on that. Unfortunately, that is going to be Starzy's second hook. He's going to go straight back onto that hook. And unfortunately, it's the generator that Cash was on too. Cash being a newer player into the Gospel team. I believe they were playing in DVD Asia, or was it DVD Indo? Correct me if I'm wrong there, Tavi. Which one was it?
I think it was the Indonesia, but he also, I think the reason why DB Asia is popping up is because he played in the 1v1 event, so I think he performed fairly well. Anyway, I like his camera movement, but he takes an M1 here. I'm not really sure what happened, but I guess he should be able to get away from that nicely. But I mean, from what seemed like a really nice start here, I guess maybe our survivors could be facing a little bit of a pickle because it seems like they're not really positioned for this unhook too nicely. But I think with the gens coming in, there is potential for a trade to come in, but it's going to be quite hard, I think. They need to be fairly diligent on these generators go on.
Wait, hold up. Nu was just in main and then Gen kicked and he's still on main. That is... Damn, okay. Also, Nu's build is actually quite interesting. Dark Sense and Deja. So that's very interesting to see. And yeah, a very clean shot by JD yet again. But we do have Sizz here. He is gonna... Oh, he's just gonna miss it. And is he... Wait. Is he gonna get the trade? Oh, wait, hold up. JD graduated from body blocking. Oh my god, he actually graduated from body blocking association and gets the full kill onto Starzy, but we do have one gen left, so that's not looking too bright, especially with the only hooks that JD has gotten is all on Starzy. So it's looking kind of good for Gospel here with Survivor for like if they went to killer, considering it's only technically just one kill. But we'll see how JD can go from here, Tavi.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he finds a reset here, and that's a really big deal, but they're both healthy, so Cash still going to be unknown is pretty nice for them. He's probably going to set a generator, but with the one downside, I think, on the Survivor end, to having all the hooks on one Survivor is, of course, the Pain Resonance, which is going to come in. Nancy is in a really bad position here, but manages to get the UVX off and head towards, I believe, this TL here, which is not the tile that you want, but JD actually just deciding to completely drop this chase and leave Nu with the weakened status. So, yeah, the Pain Resonance definitely going to hinder the Survivors way more. Oh my god, this 3-gen here. Alright, this 3-gen is kind of nasty, Gohan. Holy, but, I mean, if they can pop this, definitely the low stages is going to be a really big deal for JD.
Indeed, it is, but it all depends on how they can play it. Because if they can play this well, they might actually be able to get all of them out of the trial. But it all depends on how they can do this. But we do see Nu is going to be the one in chase. He is on a health state, and he does got the UVX, and that UVX is nearly done. And we do have a gen actually nearly completed in the background. We got Cash here with a beamer. He's probably going to come in for a beamer save. Oh, wait, what do we see here? We see... Oh, no. Oh, no, that is not ideal. He saw Cash on the side of his screen. Cash has been spotted, and obviously, yeah, won't be able to get a flashlight save, but Sizz is cranking that gen all the way here next to Shaq. Timing it perfectly, might I add, with the pain res, and yeah, Cash is going to get out scot-free.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get this free and this reset fairly free, but now Sizz is kind of the survivor, which is in a bad spot here. You know, he's chasing in the 3-gen. Okay, he was chasing in the 3-gen, and JD picked the gen, but he needs to get out of this 3-gen, otherwise having a hook here is going to be really bad. Of course, Unknown being able to set up the teleportations is going to be able to zone survivors way more, but actually seems like Sizz is doing a nice job of just evading the UVX and any kind of form of pressure that JD can apply. Maybe we see a UVX coming in here, there's not really much he can do as he breaks away from this. But yeah, if he gets 2-tapped here on this, I believe this bot side, sorry, not top side, he does get 2-tapped, it can spell a little bit of trouble. JD goes to the UVX and it's not going to pop out. So again, really nicely done from survivors, but he takes the M1 anyway, heads towards main, of course. Main is a nightmare for any killer to play. So I think, yeah, now with the rotations coming in from the other survivors, JD, yeah, just decides to drop and look for someone else, which is understandable play. You can get options and so on, but he needs to get something going because you can't just be keeping on tagging and leaving and kicking because you're gonna run out of kicks.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's it's only 8 kicks nowadays. It's only 8 kicks maximum, and then it would be looking grim. But luckily, they are trying to do the best they can here. They are getting now. We have who do we have here? We have New actually sussing out whether or not he wants to go downstairs. That's going to be interesting, but unfortunately, it doesn't. Gets teleported towards Sizz, and Sizz is able to get tagged. Unfortunately. But we do see the chase happening, and Cash is going to be on that gen. Darby, this is looking interesting.
It certainly is. Oh, what a beautiful snipe from JD with that bounce off the window. Gohan, I don't know. These two snipes that JD has gotten really beautiful and kind of clutched up for him. Getting the down onto Stasi and now Sizz, that might actually get him back in the game here in terms of pressure because that gen again is going to get hit by the pain resonance. Kind of put it back to where it was before and reset a lot of the progress which our survivors had. So now the fresh hooks are kind of gonna stack up, but that was such an important down for JD, and maybe he can actually capitalize off this because he sees Cash in the background. So maybe he actually commits to this chase here on the top side because it's like it's free real estate, right? You just chase this guy right here, right? Surely.
Yeah, honestly, it does look like he is going to go for that, and honestly, it's just going to be having to be interesting to see what he can do, and they are going to be resetting Sizz, but it looks like Cash is in a little bit of a spicy situation, but he does have Sprint Burst, so he's going to be able to Sprint Burst away. That is luckily for them, but he is going to get shot from JD. Very well played by JD indeed. They are going to continue this chase all the way here at Shaq. Is Shaq still up? Shaq is actually still up, so he does have that opportunity.
And our survivors kind of tipped that back in their favor now, getting the reset and unhook for free. Cash also getting the UVX off, so now JD has to work again for this down and won't have the pain resonance to pay off for it. So, yeah, survivors kind of coming out on top with that interaction, but JD still needs to keep up this really good work here, trying to secure something good for his survivors to set, but at least he gets a tag onto Sizz. But again, he really needs a down, and that's, I think, the thing which Unknown is struggling a little bit more nowadays. Like Gohan, I think we all remember like when Unknown was released, like he was just getting 4Ks everywhere on Record Yard, but now like you can see like the survivors are doing such a good job of like making him look like a really weak killer, which I don't really think he is.
Yeah, it's more so people have just learnt how to play around the killer, more so, because now the killer's been out for a bit longer. At least people now are aware of how to play against him and what to do. But unfortunately, we do see the down happen on to, well, that was that Cash. So Cash is going to be our next hook of this game. And it is going to be looking kind of grim because I believe he is also a fresh hook too. So JD has actually brought this back surprisingly well.
And I feel like, again, like a lot of that contribution to like the position that he's in right now is those two snipes, like one onto Stasi when he just got unhooked, and then that one onto Sizz, which then got the pain resonance and then kind of allowed him back into this game. Of course, at the moment, they're going to get an unhook and a reset, but like he's still able to defend this generator style for a little bit longer before the kicks run out, of course, but he currently is trying to look for the stealth. It does find the scratch mark, so it does catch out New here. I don't think he has a pallet around here. This would be a little bit too strong of the map if it did, so probably want to commit to this just to get a couple more stages on the board before we go to the end game. But definitely turning this game around from a high stage performance. Oh my god, he goes to this mind game too, and he swings through, but I think New gets to smash it, and that is going to be chase over. So go on. I don't know how many stages we're looking at here, but I think it's actually a fairly decent amount for both sides to play for.
We are actually currently looking at 6 stages for Fresh on the board. Unfortunately, Stasi dying quite unfortunately. Like, I don't know if you would call it early or late, I don't know, but unfortunately, Sizz is going to loop into JD's loving arms in Silo, so they are going to be here in this corner of the map. So if JD gets this down, he is going to get Eruption, he's going to get that proc. Now he's going to figure out where are the rest of the survivors, and it looks like he's going to go for a slow fest to try and secure a 4K1.
Oh! No!
Wait,
They don't get the gen down! Oh my god. But he can't kick the generator either, so... I think it's still
Oh.
4K1, right, Gohan? It's still 4K1, and that's insane. That's an insane result.
If somehow
Okay.
Cash can make it back and avoid JD, I would argue he could actually maybe even no, never mind. And it's gone. And it's dead. So it is going to be a 4K1 to JD. So that means whoever is going to be coming up on Gospel's end is going to have to get a 4K2 to win. And I believe it's going to be the man they name Gibbsy, as Gibbsy is, I believe, one of their main killers on Gospel's pool of players. So we will be right back after a short intermission after they do all these hooks and everything. So after that, we will come back with a short intermission with Gospel's killer going to be happening next.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the second half of our unknown set. Now, we just saw JD get a 4K1 after what I thought was a really surprising turn of events there. You know, the start was rough for him. Then somehow he brings it back to a 4K1. But of course, we'll have to see if Mr. Studio Ghibli can meet that result from Gospel, because that is a fairly tough ask on the Ormond Lake Mine. So again, I feel like the size of the Ormond Lake Mine is such a big deal. Well, it's for any killer really, but for unknown, can feel a little bit, like bad for both sides, because it's a lot of area to cover, and there's a lot of dead zones. So I think Gohan, you saw like JD's taps from before, and like the snipes he got. Do you think Gibsy can do the same?
Honestly, yeah, we've seen. I'm pretty sure, as all people know, Gibbsy is a jack of all trades. He plays elderly, he plays pretty much played most of the killers last season for his team. And oh wow, okay, that was a, don't know if someone was actually there or not, but we do see a survivor here, and unfortunately, because of the way DBD works, you just hard drop, which honestly is weird that you can't just like slow fall down your way without having to hit an invisible wall. But I believe Gibbsy can get a 4K too, but hey, anything can happen in this game of DVD, so we'll have to wait and see. But Gibbsy is going to try and maybe get a shot onto whoever there was on Shaq, but unfortunately not being able to get it. I believe that was actually JD there. Yes, it was. So JD is going to be the first in the chase, so it's the Gibbsy versus JD for the first one. Oh, that's an awkward situation. He didn't know whether or not he was going to teleport, so he didn't actually vault the pallet, so he is going to take the 3 and the 1 thanks to Gibbsy faking out using power, but then gets power hit now. So honestly, it's actually a really good start for Gibbsy. But we also have different perks if you want to mention those on the board there, Tarvik.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see the additional, well, the change out from agitation to wretched fate, and I don't think it's even going to matter, because this really early down is just going to be so beneficial to him. You know, even though again it's on the obsession and you're not going to get the wretched fate value, this really early down is going to come in before the first generator pops. Okay, no pain resonance, to be fair, but maybe he's saving it for later. But damn, like I feel like the agitation being swapped out for Wretched Fate definitely going to hinder our survivors a lot. But if Gibbsy wants to get value from it, of course, we'll have to drop his tunnel out, which not really ideal, I think, if you're going for 4K1. So yeah, those are the perks, and I'm also kind of surprised about his add-ons, because Gohan, if you know the unknown add-ons, I actually don't like the top one that Gibbsy has bought, which is the game cartridge. So yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised he didn't bring something else.
Oh, okay. I think he's fighting his demons there, shooting into the map, into the edge map. I don't know where he's shooting there, but we are going to see him still going to be trying to get JD dead. But unfortunately, that's another gen pop. It's not too bad, not too hot for the team. But hey, who knows? Who knows what happens? It is this game. Who knows what's going to happen? But we do see the body block happen onto Duck now. Did Gibbsy graduate from the Body Blocking Association? He did not. That is unfortunate, but we do see the trade happen. JD is now going to be the tunnel out, as unfortunately he is our obsession, so Wretched Fate isn't going to get much value, but it's needed. It's needed right now. We need that tunnel out as quick as possible, so we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh my god, okay, JD taking some devious pathing. Should be able to make this top side, but there's nothing safe left for him. He's kind of run into his own demise here, but he kind of makes enough distance to get away. So he's not going to get down just as of yet. As he evade, no, last pixels. And that is the death coming in at just around 2 generators left for survivors. So they only need to put 1 gen to take the Tycon, but that's a bit of a problem team, I would say, because... Oh wait, hold on, there's not a death. Oh my god, I'm stupid, Johan. I'm stupid.
Oh no, what I'm mentioning is if you were paying attention, Gibbsy was like a second away from pain resing Hearts' gen.
Oh yeah.
And because Gibbsy was just that little bit late, they were able to pop the gen. So now it is at the situation where Gibbsy needs to get a 4K now, or it's going to spell a tie situation. So we'll just have to see what Gibbsy can cook up here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our survivors should be happy to let JD die here. There's not really enough, like, well, reason to unhook the Wretched Fate, and like maybe even if they invest like FTP, that's not worth it again because of the Wretched Fate. But seems like 6 Hearts. Let's go for the trade here. And that's going to be a safe unhook coming in. The leader hit! Oh my god, I think that was leader and desperate measures allowing that trade to turn, well, into just an injury for it. And even though JD's in the deep wound, that don't matter for shit because, you know, he's already like up and far away trying to take this chase into his death spell. So JD's chase, I think, is the most important one just as of yet. But he does get tagged here, so Gibbsy on the really precise UVX, I think, should be able to take him out very quickly. But he's kind of jigging away, so... maybe JD can make something happen here.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see if... oh, he's going all the way on the outside. Damn, okay. So he has managed to keep away from getting the UVX hit. But now, unfortunately, that is all she wrote for JD. And they do reset Hearts in the background as well. So that is looking kind of grim. So Gibbsy's really got to pick up the pace now because he has to get at least... he has to get pretty much everyone dead now if he wants to win. But... we do see one... oh yeah, there we go. Now it's the tie situation. Okay, so now we're in a rocky situation. So now the win con has been met for Bleedout. So GG, well played to Bleedouts. So, but not just yet though. To be fair, it could still be a tie con. You never know with DVD, as I said before. But we do see 6 Hearts running around all the way down to silo area here in the corner of the map. And we do see a door there too. So this is some interesting doors. But Hearts is just going to go straight down to the bottom area of the map.
Yeah, and I kind of like this play because it's a really awkward place to chase if you're Gibbsy, because it's like hard to find like an appropriate hook to put Hearts on, but he's probably going to take a tag onto Jazz. Unfortunately, I can't get away from that, and I think it's just going to result in a 2-tap, which is really what Gibbsy needs if he wants to try and force this Tycon to go through. That's going to be the case. As 6 Hearts gets reset, and the gens probably going to go back to 0 here, Gohan, thanks to Pain Res.
Yeah, Pain Res and Eruption as well, mind you. Eruption did hit a gen, as we saw the notification out there in the crowd. So, we will see the hook happen onto Jazz now. Jazz is going to be our next hook, and I don't know if it was Pain Res or not. We'll have to wait until we get back to Gibbsy. So, we do have interesting situation here. Duck is just going to be stealthing, and we do see a Pain Res hook being taken. So it was a Pain Res hook indeed. So now it's just got a matter of can Gibbsy 4K1 from this situation? What are your thoughts on that, Darby?
I think you might, because our survivors aren't really on gens, so just looking at this, Gibbsy is... I don't even know what his gens are, but they're like all looking like they're on this west side, and our survivors are really timid to try and attack this. And hopefully they make a coordinated move, but if they don't, Gibbsy is just completely happy to just, you know, face camp like a low MMR guy. But, you know, this is comp, and he can afford to do that since the rotations and the pressure isn't coming through. So he spots Hearts out here, but he's kind of doing a nice job of trying to zone both survivors away from this unhook. So I think Gibbsy's, yeah, still got a really good shot here, but I think definitely he makes like one mistake, everything can like slip out of his hands.
Exactly, yeah. Especially if these guys play as good as they're playing now in this situation, if they can bring it back, that would actually be really, really good for team morale, especially against a team that is probably, I wouldn't say better, but at least more experienced in the scene. Obviously, Bleedout's been around for a long time, but so has Gospel's players as well.
Oh.
So who's to say who's actually the better team in terms of both skill and experience? Because both teams on. So let's take for example. So Bleedout have. Oh wow, we see Duck saying hello out of randomly, but as I was saying before, Duck did a little jump scare on us. Bleedouts have been a team for a very, very long time, since like I think DBDO days, I believe. And then have just pretty much been going steadily since then. And then Gospel, obviously they have like very experienced players. So we have Nefarious, we have Johns, we have Cash, we have Stars, we have New Gibbsy, Sizz, Andrew. Like all of their players are heavily experienced in this game and in the comp scene as well. But yeah, as we can see now, clearly that doesn't really matter right now because currently Bleedouts have got Gibbsy on the back foot.
Yeah, I mean, look, Gibbsy's doing a really good job trying to slug here, but every little bit of time that every survivor is taking in the chases means that, oh my god, the Gens can get progress, and Jazz, you haven't seen him for quite a while. Duck gonna be, Duck taking the vault, Balance landing, was that Life? No, that was Life coming into play, Gibbsy swinging, and he won't make this pallet now, and LV Duck playing this for his team, potentially take away set win, Gibbsy swinging as well, oh my god. Duck, I think Duck, honestly, the MVP here. He's been doing such a good job here on the chases in this 3v1 and kind of clutched up, I think, for Bleedout here. But I think he's going to be going down here on the edge map. But Gibbsy, no, he wins another 50. Oh my god.
He is on the. He was playing on the dreaded, technically like a pseudo version of a Z-Wall, but yeah, he is going to go down here. Unfortunately, that's going to be Duck dead, and we do see the teleport happen as well, and Six Arms isn't sure where Gibbsy is, and oh, that was all. Hey, that was not looking pretty, and we do see Unknown having a little bit of a interesting bug here. His torso is now elongated to a very interesting situation. I don't know what's Unknown. I know Unknown is a bit iffy in the lore on how he was made, so maybe that's why the entity decided to say, hey, we don't have a torso really much anymore, and now we have Jazz going down as well. It is all going downhill from now.
And sorry about that. I was trying to appreciate the Unknown bug there, but oh, LV Duck's gonna get down here on this double pallet, and I think that probably spells the end here. Gonna be tied up 4k1, of course, unless a fresh Bleedout does occur. So yeah, Heart's going down as well. That's gonna actually secure Gibbsy the tie condition. So really well played to Gibbsy. I feel like just near towards the end, Gibbsy really picked up his game and started getting those downs, getting the pressure in, and led to this result, which is, I think, a really solid one, which, again, we saw JD get last trial. So I think both teams done really well and should head into, I believe, the next set being the Dredge with some bit of confidence on their side. But yeah, Dredge, though, is a different killer altogether, Gohan. That is a... well, I mean, maybe I'm offending some people when I say he looks like Unknown, but Dredge plays completely differently.
Yeah, Dredge is he's definitely a mixed bag. Because considering he is played on Midwich as well, I believe that it is Gospel's pick as well, so they're probably more accustomed to the Dredge set more so than the side of Bleedout. But as I said before, especially with this game, proving just that, like experience versus skill versus how long you've been a team together really does make a difference in that situation, because as we saw then, Team Bleedout was able to actually bring it back to a Tycon.
Yeah. To be fair, I gotta give shout outs, yeah, to the survivors. I mean, they did play the chases fairly well at the start and so on. But Gibbsy as well, of course, like 4K1, ridiculous, I think, on Unknown on this map. But that's gonna seal it all for the Unknown, and yeah, I guess that's going to be the new tiebreaker as we head into our next set, the Dredge, as we were talking about. We're gonna get that match set up for you guys after a quick little intermission, so stay with us. Hello? Hello? Hello! We are back. Now, tie in the Unknown 4K1 tie on Ormond Lake Mine. Insane stuff, you know? JD and Gibbsy stepping up to make those really nice killer performances. But we have to move on to set 2 after that, unfortunately. And it's going to be a dredge on the Midwich. But a little bit of a twist. So, OSL, we have a little bit of an interesting bit of balance. So if you do notice here, there are some exhaustions for our survivors, and that's because it is the field recorder dredge that's going to be played on the Midwich. So actually, where is there even exhaustion? Maybe I lied, but I've not really seen the set being played out at all, and I really would be curious to see how both sides approach this first nightfall. So you do find our first survivor here, and that's a really, really nice early tag. Is Gohan here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I thought you were introing it in general, so my apologies. But we do have
That's
a
alright.
cheeky little Watch streamer in the background. We've got Hezekiah in the background there, watching his matches on his stream as well. So if you want to watch both sides, watch it from his POV. He is watching it from, obviously, from the OSL Twitch, but he is just obviously giving his own comments as well. So if you want to watch him as well, that would be awesome. Give him a lurk as well, boys, if you want, guys in the chat. But we do have 6 hearts already going on. And wait, oh,
Beautiful, but
was he using any means necessary?
yeah, he was fucking a
That-
beautiful fake there.
That is an interesting way to fake the into the pallet. So honestly, well played to Duck there for using it that way. But yeah, we do have Cash is still going strong, and we also have a very interesting build too. If you want to comment on the perks that are there, Tavu.
Yeah, Gohan. I really like what Cash has picked up here. He's gone with a really aggressive build, understanding the field recorder is quite an oppressive add-on, and we could see that from that tippity 2-tap, as I think Johns would say here. But oh my god, he's going for the body block on this 11 corridor one. I think that's going to mean that 6 hearts is second here, and this is such a bad position for Survivor to be in. No corrupt value really that that was gotten from our killer thanks to a really early down, and that means that his Dragon's Grip pop, Eruption, and Sloppy Butcher is going to go into full effect now. 6 hearts hits second. I was going to say without a gen popping, which is really bad, but the gen pops in the distance, so cast is cursed. But again, I think a 3v1 is going to be fairly inevitable here on the Midwich, and it just remains to be seen how much pressure Cash can apply with these 4 really, really good dredge perks.
Yeah, especially. Also, I do want to mention that we did see, as JD was going for the save, Cash decided to give him a little no. You're not gonna let that save for free. He gave him a little nodders to say, nah, you're not gonna do it. So we'll have to see what's going on there. But we do have the tunneler onto hearts here. Well, 6 hearts. I don't know how he wants his name to be said. Who knows at this stage? Because it's not technically 2 names in one, but we do see the eruption happen here. So this is going to be all she wrote for hearts here in this match, and we do see a cheeky survivor running in the distance thanks to eruption proc. So that is going to be all they wrote for hearts, and the first death at 4 gens on Dredge no less is quite grim, don't you think there, Tavu?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, as I was saying before, the tippity 2-tap onto hearts at the start of the game kind of set Cash up for this insane pressure that he has right now in this mid game, in the 3v1. And seems like he's just trying to get around, trying to deplete the survivors' resources and spread the eruption love around the Midwich. But, you know, he can afford to play this fairly slowly, especially with Nightfall coming up soon. You can see the bars at 75%. Because usually it's in Nightfall where you're going to make your starting moves as the Dredge. So, survivors, though, playing pretty patiently. until I say that. Like as soon as I say that, Dragon's Grip is going to be applied onto Duck. But yeah, I think they do have to be really, really cautious about every move they make because one slip up, they give away tag, sloppy tag, then they give away another. It can just snowball so out of control here on the Dredge, but they're doing a really good job so far.
Indeed, they are. We do see JD unfortunately getting that sloppy butcher hit as you mentioned as well. But JD is going to go into this side room here, and this side room isn't the best considering, as we can see, what Cash is doing now. It's not looking too hot, especially, yep, and there it goes. Okay.
So, oh wait, he's going to actually decide to go for the... Oh, he's... Jazz sprint bursts into the loving arms of Cash here.
And we are going to see the tag happen as well. But we do know what the other survivor is as well, thanks to the eruption. So we know we got a rough idea on where everyone is at this point in stage of the game, especially with the Killer Instinct giving him all that he needs. But unfortunately, wait, there's two people there. Hold up. Hold up. Where are we going now? We got two people there.
It seems like, I mean, they can't get... Okay, never mind. I was gonna say to get out of that, but I guess JD's gonna get picked out. Can't even make the really strong pallet here on 5, so I think that was dropped earlier by Daz though, but still, now in Nightfall, I think the game is like really all but over. I'd be surprised if they could even pop a generator. I can't even lie because the way that Cash is playing so aggressive, I don't even know if he will allow even 1 inch or like even like a couple of percentages into these remaining generators. But at least Jazz does get a safe pallet drop. But it's looking so bad for the survivors, and I think Gospel is gonna like put a really, really tough ask of, I believe, JD, who will play Dredge next for Bleedout.
Yeah, indeed. We have, yeah, Cash is really showing people why they picked the Dredge, especially with this result of possibly getting even a 4K4, which would be insane for them, and would be very, very good for the morale of Gospel, because this is their pick, so they're clearly confident in this pick, so they are probably going to be doing really well with the side of having to actually play on the survivor end as well. So it is going to get interesting. And yeah, as you said, Cash is not letting up on this gen. He is not letting this gen be touched or even fixed, for that matter. Because, again, he does have Dragon's Grip on that gen, but he just doesn't want them to touch it. Period. So, very interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, this build is so ridiculously good on the Dredge with, well, of course, being on this map and without many exhaustions. But Cash even gives the nod, so holy, this is like, I feel like Gohan, we're just like watching like a Dredge like masterclass here for Cash, and I don't really think he's made any mistakes whatsoever, and it's just really nice to see such high level Dredge gameplay. But there will be some who disagree with me and hate Dredge, but look at that, he just finds another survivor, and potentially the survivor's just going down really, really soon. And yeah, look at that, just beautiful awareness from Cash. So yeah, I don't know, with all these perks and like sloppy and eruption and shit, I think our survivors just have to accept the fact that they are not going to be getting more than 1 generator done, and dare I say even 1 generator, because yeah, fucking Cash is just doing an insane job, man.
Yeah, and we do see the first one coming on to LV Duck as well, so it is going to be very interesting to see how he can play around Jazz here. And yep, there it is, the hook hit over the pallet too, no less. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they go, and they do get to pick up, or sorry, the unhook onto it as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they can go. So honestly, this game is looking kind of grim, but we do see the pallet sung by JD here, and Cash is just running with this game in favor of Gospel.
Yeah, and I mean, may this game like show like anyone who plays Dredge in the future, he's a monk. Maybe like, you know, a bit of inspiration. Keep on shoving down those Dredge scrims in their free time. But oh my god, even fine stuff. Okay, ridiculous. But yeah, Smunk, I actually want to see you play some Dredge sometime soon, man. And Dredge, on Dredge, like Cash and Spunk, they do a face-off ever. Be sure to see that live on Twitch. So, unfortunately though, I think this game is going to come to a close really soon. And what a result that Cash has managed to put 4K4 if JD doesn't pop a gen, but still, Gohan, it's just insane.
I honestly don't even know if they even can get a gen pop because the only gens that have got progress have got 0 progress now.
Interesting,
So,
but we do see LV Duck being gotten off the hook here, but we still have him taking a look all the way at. He's just keeping making sure Jazz dies on hook, and then he makes it a 2v1, and then it's pretty much all she wrote. And yeah, Jazz is gonna take an unfortunate demise back to the lobby and back to the campfire. So it is going to be interesting to see how Cash can bring this in this situation of the 2v1. But so far it has been in favor of Cash here, and yeah, now we're just playing a little bit of a cheeky hide and seek game in this process now too.
yeah, and I gotta respect Bleedout's tenacity here, but oh, they both get found here. Oh my god, Cash. All right. Anyway, at least this game's gonna be over. But I have to respect Bleedout there and not giving up at all, even though the situation was so bad and like in the 2v1 both injured. You would expect not many teams would go for it, but look at this. It's just beautiful stuff from Cash. But yeah, I have to give it to the teams that really do fight to the last last little bit, because that's like honestly, like if they could get one gen done, that makes it way easier. But I think JD might just have to concede this set because 4K4 is like not realistic. It really is not realistic.
Yeah, so it is going to be interesting now because we do see it is game over, game and set. Honestly, this is going to be very difficult for Bleedouts to get a 4K5. Ay, Tommy, this is that's a rough one.
I mean, really interesting series seen so far, but I think Bleedout's going to be on the back foot here going into this next Dredge set. So we'll get that set up for you, and we'll be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to honestly what I would argue was a perfect game from Cash, being able to get a 4K4, which is unprecedented, especially for like killers like Dredge and the Wicked Killers as well. But obviously, Cash is Cash, able to get a 4K4, and now pretty much all they got to do is pop 2 gens and they win. So let's see what JD can do, because keep in mind, everybody in the chat, once a build has been sent, especially by the killer side, it is locked, meaning they can't change anything even if they wanted to. So even if JD saw that result and was like, okay, I want to make something to make it so I can actually get the 4K5, he can't, because he's already locked in the build. But this weapon is very interesting considering it's metal and now it's floppy. So that's an interesting thing about it, but we do see Cash being the first one found. So it's going to be Dredge player versus Dredge player for the very starting chase. So it is going to be interesting to see. Starby, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think JD should be doing here to secure the dub?
Well, he's off to a good start, taking a really early sloppy hit onto Cash here. Also, by the way, good to note that Cash did have to pop the spin burst for that early chase, and also had to drop a really good pallet. So good news for our survivors, but seems like Andrew's also going to get found, trying to play the 50s, but grabs a stun, and beautiful stun at that, and JD's going to have to drop this chase and try and bounce back to somebody else. But again, our survivors, I think they're playing slowly enough. They should be able to get out of this early game really freely, but Nu's going to get surprised from the mid-air, and that man is going to become calling and give him a tag. So maybe this is the chase that JD commits to, because I think he has enough distance to secure this down, and that is perfect from JD. So you're talking about starts that you needed, and this is exactly what JD needs here. So, oh, also he has a pain resonance. Perfect. And yeah, perfect start here from JD.
Yeah, so he's so far so good. He's actually getting the right pressure that he needs to actually maybe even get that 4K5. But unfortunately, though, well, fortunately, at least a lot of the pallets have been dropped, or major pallets have been dropped, so it means that at least there is less to work with on the map. But he does have Ruin as well, so no matter what happens, he's going to have regression of some kind.
Yeah, exactly. And Ruin on this map, I think, is a really risky choice, I'd say. But definitely it depends on the matchup of what team you're versing. Because I think Gospel, I've seen a lot of these names play in previous seasons, so they probably are a bit accustomed to totem spawn. So I wouldn't be surprised too much about Dread totem spawn. But it seems like Andrew's actually going to take a tag to conserve this God pallet at 11, but JD still in a pretty good position. 3 injuries can definitely snowball here, but unfortunately decided to leave at the wrong timing. But I guess, look, if he catches that 1 reset, I think he actually has a shot to try and meet the tie condition or even go for a win condition 4K5. But at the moment, he's playing slowly like Cash, but he does find the reset. Okay, and that's when the pallet comes down.
Yeah, it looks like you spoke too soon on that reset.
But do keep in mind, he's still want to make sure the other team doesn't at least pop 2 gens. So even if he does manage to get all these hooks and stuff, it won't matter if and only if Team Gospel can pop 2 gens. And honestly, this Ruin is doing wonders. But unfortunately, there's the first gen pop. As I was talking about Ruin 2, of course, Caster's Curse. No matter what game I cast, it's always a thing. Oh,
It's always a thing, no matter where you go. It really is weird. But okay, so
Oh my god.
very well done on the body block by Cash for Nu, but unfortunately, still not being able to get the totem as they probably would have hoped for. But so yeah, Nu is going to go down, and Nu is the only one that's actually been hooked. So this is going to be his second stage on the board. And honestly, it's not that bad. Not looking too hot for JD. Maybe he can tie, but he's got to play out of his mind to be able to get the Tycon here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's found an injured here. It's going to be Cash alone. So that means the other reset's going to come in shortly. But if he can maybe slug this, go back to the hook and try and interrupt a trade, that has some potential. But he actually instead opts to go to this 11 corridor and try and cut off potential reset, which I think he did just then. I couldn't really tell. But I think this is Andrew's marks heading towards the hook. So honestly, unfortunate there for JD because he's given away this pull kind of for free. But he's going to have to try and cut down Nu's Tunla as soon as possible. But actually, no, he decides to leave, playing a little bit of table tennis here. And we'll have to see how these survivors spawn because they are leaving fairly nicely. But Nightfall is going to be here somewhat soon. It's like 30% left on the power goals. So I think that's when JD definitely wants to make his move. But for now, he needs to try and interrupt every single reset that is attempted. So yeah, that's the Nightfall going to be coming in really, really soon. That's actually insane how fast it came out. And this is where the moves from JD. He has to turn it up. He has to go over 9,000 like what I was saying about Guncon. And then if he can do it, maybe he can meet 4K4.
Yeah, and honestly, it is like, even if with this WinCon, JD has been doing a cracker of a job. He's been doing amazing. Like, he's been actually putting in the work and doing the best for his team, because I don't know who else plays Dredge on Bleedout's side. I believe it's only really JD we see him play Killer, for that fact. I don't know if actually any of the other plays Killer. Maybe Duck does, but I haven't really seen him play Killer for Bleedouts in a hot minute. So who knows what's going on there with their roster for who plays Killer. But as we can see here, JD is still actually doing really well with stopping them from completing this last gen. But in saying that,
of course, why? Yeah, no, seriously, Caster's Curse is a thing, people. Case in point, they got the totem and they got a gen. I don't know anymore. I'm not quitting, of course. I'm not fucking quitting casting, but god damn, we really gotta
Gotta stop. I really gotta stop talking about stuff like that when it's right on the precipice of being the game. But yeah, GG's to the team of Gospel winning the dredge set. But we obviously will be continuing this set because obviously we don't want to just end it now for you people out there in the crowd. So while this is happening, Tavi, do you have any thoughts about Houndmaster set? Because I don't think I've ever seen either member on either team play this killer ever. So I want to hear your thoughts on how you think that game will go.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just give like a quick overview. So on the side of Gospel, their killer, I have absolutely no idea who played Houndmaster on their side, but knowing Bleedout, probably JD's going to take the Houndmaster there, and if they are as diligent as they usually are for scrimming, they would usually probably scrim that a good amount. So JD's going to be well prepared on Mount Organ 1, and it's kind of up to Gospel to show whether they are also well versed on the Houndmaster, because maybe they didn't even expect this to go to a set 3, because they would have been fairly confident. But yeah, I guess they're gonna just like play this out fairly nicely, and that's actually a power save coming through onto a death hook, and who's gonna get away from this? So still really nice for my survivors. So if they keep this up into the Houndmaster, I don't really think they need too much preparation, because they should just juice up very nicely. But I'm not sure who play again. I'm not sure who plays Houndmaster for Gospel, and that might be a little bit of an issue, because if they don't have somebody who can perform on the Houndmaster, there might be a little bit of trouble there securing a guaranteed win. But yeah, JD's having a little bit of trouble now, and that's to be a little bit expected here, not being in 3v1.
Yeah, especially with how much pressure the Gospel boys are putting on two of the other people, but we do see some aura here, or sorry, killer instinct. So apologies for that, but we do see them having to fight at the next person. Well, yeah, as you said, I don't know who would play the killer from Gospel. It's either it's either between New or Gibbsy. Personally, I think it's either between those two. Maybe I could be wrong. Who knows? But yeah, as you said, most likely going to be JD from Bleedouts, because as I said before, I don't think I've ever seen any of the other people actually play killer at all for their sets. Maybe once or twice, but it hasn't really been a concurrent thing. So we'll have to just wait and see what happens there. But yeah, we are going to be finally picking up New. So New is going to be going on for his last and final hook, making it a 3v1 at 3 gens. A little bit late, but hey, JD is still doing an amazing job, even if he wasn't able to beat the win con. As honestly though, that win con, that was hard to beat. I think even like the pros would even struggle to beat that win con. So we'll just have to wait and see how JD can bring this back and just obviously play to go as he was.
And yeah, I mean, I feel like JD also like did a good job here. He's still in a good position to get 4K, but I mean the survivors are kind of distancing themselves well, playing safe. But Houndmaster though, of course, our next set, make or break for Gospel. But Bleedout, I think, need to try something fairly extraordinary, because the way our survivors been playing, it's really solid performance coming in. But that's another gen done, and JD kind of is suffering from the lack of slowdown now, because it's really no eruption for him to use. He didn't decide to bring it in, and that's a really big deal, because there's no real big threat for the generators to start regressing, apart from Pain Res, but Pain Res isn't consistent on this map. So in a galaxy, not in a galaxy, in a season long ago, there was a time where we saw Six Hearts playing killer, but I don't think Six Hearts will play Houndmaster at all. And JD gonna have to run it back on the Houndmaster on one to try and bring it back for Bleedout to equalize this. But Gospel, of course, on their way to try and to win it back. So they're still doing a really good job in the dredge and playing it really patient so far, and not really giving away any free downs. And look at the good awareness here from Ziz to avoid that. So I mean, it's just, I don't know, JD, I feel like he's getting squeezed from kind of like a lot of sides here and kind of struggling to cope and make a decision. But I mean, yeah, kind of funny to watch to me, honestly, Gohan.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm pretty sure they're just messing around now at this point because they know they have one. But oh wait, no, that's the issue. There's a cheeky little cash in the corner, and they were trying their best to get him out of that dire situation, as what some people like to call the McDonald's checkout call out. Again, I don't know why people call it that, but hey, they do what they want. But hey, maybe Scissor, oh, never mind, he's gone. I was gonna say maybe Sizz makes JD a little house, but that went down the drain real quick. So we just see JD trying to figure out where his next chase is going to be, and it is going to be back onto Sizz, but also Andrew is there too. Are they going to be able to pick it up? No, not going to be able to pick up Cash. So it looks like it is going to be all they want, and it's going to be a 4K1 to JD.
Yeah, that's still not a small feat coming in from JD. 4K1 is a really solid performance on the Dredge, and it's just, yeah, again, just not enough. It's just not enough, and with this set point going, of course, fairly critical. JD has to get up, drink some coffee, and turn his brain back on for the Houndmaster set, which I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like Houndmaster and Dredge are two completely different dynamics, and it might actually be a little bit difficult for him to adjust, but hopefully he can put on a good show on the Houndmaster, because that's what we love to see here in OSL, you know, like great gameplay from both Survivor and Killer, and, you know, good sportsmanship, etc. So, closing this game out with 4K1, finally does JD, and we can move on now. We can move on.
Yeah, we can finally move on from the Dredge sets, and we can go into the Houndmaster set right after a short intermission, where we either might have to go off stream so they can do the unknown set again, depending on if Bleedout wins the next set, or do Gospel take it just from Houndmaster, and then we will finally be able to bring in Kaido Kids versus Zetsubo. And yeah, we'll be right back after this short intermission.
Alright, everyone, a good evening or good night. We may be in Oceania, and line up for you to finish off, potentially anyway, tonight's sets here from Bleedout. And Gospel is a Houndmaster set, so Portia makes a return onto Orman 1 after the previous events of this afternoon. Or as Gohan, or that's what Gohan would call, but I'll call evening. Anyway, despite the time difference, we're still here right now, loading into the Houndmaster set, and it is actually going to be a little bit of a different name coming in from Bleedout. So as I was joking about before, in a league a very, very long time ago, time and time ago, we saw 6 Hearts play Killer, and look at this Gohan. Look who's taking the responsibility of Miss Portia May.
He has returned, and now he's playing Houndmaster. So it's going to be very interesting. I did have to do a quick little pit stop with some more food. I am hungry. It is like 8 for me, so we're around the time where I would have dinner at this point. So anyway, we do have. Is this the what weapon skin is that? That looks grotty of a weapon skin.
That's ultimate, right?
I have. Oh no, yeah, it looks like it is the ultimate skin, or like the more expensive skins. So considering he's bought that, maybe clearly he likes to play Houndmaster, otherwise he probably wouldn't have bought that. So we'll just see how he goes. And we do. Oh! Okay.
My god.
Okay, Hearts, we see you. Okay, so Hearts is clearly damn. Oh wow. Okay,
Shit.
Hearts has been cooking with Houndmaster. God damn. Color me surprised, and to think I actually thought he wasn't actually going to do so good. So I apologize, Hearts. I see what you've been cooking now. Okay. God damn, that was a quick down too. All right, so yeah, I am gobsmacked by that. What are your thoughts on that, Tavi?
Well, you know, Gohan, after watching the first Houndmaster set of this season, I believe, just earlier tonight or this evening, with those first downs coming in like pretty much as a corrupt intervention was gone. I was thinking, well, you know, you have these two way more experienced teams coming in, and okay, maybe not way more experienced, but you know, surely they'd put on a better show of what the Houndmaster chase would look like. And then Hart pulls that out of his pocket, and you kind of understand why JD is not playing this killer. So that's another really fast stag for Hearts. I don't know, man. I guess I gotta give him a lot of credit here for picking up such a killer. Oh my god, look at the 2 taps that are coming in. It is crazy. I mean, he's microing this killer so well. And he's actually put Gospel into a really, really difficult spot here because they're forced to go for a trade now, which will not be a trade, but still, really, really solid stuff from them.
Is he going? Is
Fucking
he
hell,
going
man.
for a 4K5 at this point? I feel like he's going for a 4K5. He's trying
Maybe
to
he is,
do
like-
what Cash did on Dredge, but on Hellmaster this time, because... Oh my god.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
Gideon. Okay,
just-
Look at you.
wow, okay,
Holy
so
shit.
Hearts has definitely been practicing, as we can see. Maybe can even get Sir Smonk a run for his money on Houndmaster. So that's very interesting. Andrew is now going to be on his second hook say as well. Also, do you want to make comments on the build as well? Because this build is actually quite interesting to look at.
Yeah, we have the typical Painless of option Corrupt, and we have the choice of perk being the Scourge Hook Gift of Pain, which I think gets a lot more value in Stages games, but also gets a lot of value in the 3v1, because a lot of the time you want to stay healthy, and with the the Gift of Pain being activated, you do gens like so much lower. It's kind of ridiculous, and I've definitely been seeing the perk picked up way more nowadays. But Hearts running it definitely is confirmation that it's making its way in to Oceania. So we do see FTP come in from New, and maybe Andrew doesn't get like completely 2-tap this time, but I don't know. Hearts is really scary here on the Handmaster, and I think Gospel has a right to be scared and play the safe. But oh, look at New, man, even gets mind game. Beautiful stuff from Hearts.
Yeah, honestly,
Oh
yeah,
my
no, I love.
fucking god.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. This is.
Holy shit.
I'm stumbling
Oh.
over my words because this is just immaculate on what Hearts is doing right now. They did publish it in the background, so thankfully it's not going to be a 4K5. But Jesus, Hearts has actually been cooking in the back rooms. Like holy, that is.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really surprising to see because I don't really see Hearts play killer much so anymore. It's usually been JD, but clearly JD has been knocked off the podium for Houndmaster.
He's been so put in the ground. Well, actually, Gospel I should say has been put in the ground here with his death at 2 generators. I mean, Hearts is just micro this killer so well. Like, honestly, if you're out there, take notes. Like, if you ever plan to play Houndmaster, I don't know what the fuck Hearts is doing here, but he has just made mincemeat out of our survivors here, and that is no easy task, as this early pull does come in though. So Hearts kind of overstepped a little bit, but does try and get this. But that's actually the first miss of the entire trial I think we've seen this time, and it's kind of so rare that I have to point it out.
No, he's missed a couple of the quick flicks, but usually, yeah, as you see there, yeah, he's trying to quickly flick over the dog over towards the survivor. But we do have the second win coming in clutch here, so he's going to drop the chase. But yeah, as we were saying, like he did make quick work of them, but still on Gospel. Gospel managed to pop 3 gens within time of Andrew dying, so we can't denounce what they're doing on Survivor because they actually brought it back quite effectively, I might add. Like very well done to them, because yeah, that would have been very bad situation if they didn't decide like, hey, we actually got to pay attention now. Like we can't denounce. We clearly can't count Hearts out because yeah, obviously they probably thought what I thought at the first time, which was I don't think Hearts is actually going to do so good, but I am currently eating my words. So yeah, this is a very interesting match so far, don't you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with that, Gohan. We're both eating our words, and I think we have to put our tongues back in our mouths quite far back in because, yeah, I think you can't really make too many assumptions anymore. Like Hearts, like it's kind of forced. Like you could see that Gospel went for like kind of a few risky jiggies there, and the fact that Gospel is going for that, like, kind of means that they've been intimidated and perhaps a little bit too late, and they've noticed that maybe Hearts is a bit of an outlier. But I guess Hearts still got some work to do here. Has gotten 2 hooks, I believe, in the span of this, but I guess the gems are actually kind of going fairly nicely for the survivors here. So things could still definitely slip out of his fingers, and just up to whether he can, continue this insane pressure that he's been putting on this entire early game. But yeah, he is struggling a little bit right now, but I think he should be able to find something here. But again, beautiful from Nu actually getting the stun there, so that should secure a tag. But I don't know, he still needs it down here.
Okay, so I will mention this. Nu no longer does have Gift of Pain because he was Gift of Pain, but then just got injured. So at least we don't have to worry about Nu not being able to do those gens. But we do see the cheeky blind trying to happen. But I believe that was Champion of Light because that looked a bit speedy there, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really tell there's such a short duration, but I feel like now without any Gift of Pain value on the board, now he's kind of just relying on the survivors making a mistake, which I think they will not really be doing anymore. They kind of know how to play the situation, I think, and with the surprise shock of that 3v1 coming in early, I think they are going to recover from this fairly nicely. We just see that gen pop, by the way, before the kick can come in. But look at that, they're just playing so safe here, getting the reset just near pretty much, well, nothing. And Cash, again, hiding really nicely, should be able to evade. But I guess, yeah, Survivor definitely recovered from this really nicely. And that's, again, one of the best things about some of the stronger teams is that, you put them in a difficult situation, you see how they respond to it, and I think Gospel's done a really nice job here to, well, get out of what I thought was going to be a 4K.
Yeah, very much so. I thought it was going to be a 4K4. But they've managed to bring it back down to 1 gen remaining, so very well done to Gospel. They've decided to they picked up the pace, brought it back in their favor, and now they've got 6 hearts on the back pedal. So very well done to them. Makes it very hard for 6 hearts now, because yes, he can go and use the dog,
Search the gens, all that jazz, but won't do much if he gets into chase and they bring him over towards the shack side of the map. Because then it's going to be spelling bad news Barry's, so we'll just have to see what he does. And yeah, oh, that's not good. Okay, well, there are 2 survivors here, but we know that Cash is on that generator. And if these guys can go on a generational chase, that gen will be popped, and we might be able to actually see smelts because of it.
Yeah, and I guess Hearts kind of realized he overcommits here, and you're completely right. This gen is like so close to being popped that I would not be surprised if it just cannot even be interrupted at this point coming forward. But I mean, there's no dog scent here, so obviously no one's here. But Cash again doing a really nice job of stealthing, stretching Hearts really thin here. You kind of have to decide whether you want to try and find the stealther here or try and go back to Shack to interrupt the reset. But obviously someone is here, so you want to try and find them. But then obviously they're going to go for the reset, so you want to try and interrupt that. But if you go interrupt that, then someone gets on the generator, denies the eruption by popping the generator, and then, you're suddenly in a position where you can get outs. And maybe it is just a little bit of the mental that's creeping into Hearts here. And just maybe a bit of the frustration of not being able to find this pesky little Jake Park here on the generator. And they're just still doing a really nice job, but unfortunately, they do give away a dog tag. But okay, teammate does do a nice job of helping out.
Yeah, so I was going to mention this before, but when Hearts was actually making his way back to that gen, he did see Cash in the background, but just wasn't able to confirm where he was. So, but this time, it's looking like a different story. But that generator is dangerously close. If Nu or Sizz run in and do that gen, I'm pretty sure he can get it popped. No, they're gonna commit different gen. Okay, they're committing a completely different gen, so that's gonna be fine because it is double up. So who knows what's gonna happen? But we do see Cash is actually our last fresh hook as well. So this is. Oh wait, he's leaving. Okay, this is fine. This is fine for the team. The only person we don't want hooked in this situation right now is Cash, because if Cash gets hooked, then it's gonna be a bit worse, because then it's going to mean they're going to have to get at least the fresh hooks, because then that's when obviously the fresh hooks matter. That's an That was an interesting interaction with the doggo. Interesting. I do want to mention this. Whenever we see Hearts playing as Houndmaster, the dog is just tweaking out because of the way that they've decided to use the animation of the dog. But we do have Gospel actually making it down to the end game with still 3 survivors when Andrew died quite early on. So honestly, very, very well done to the team of Gospel. They are going to be getting out, and Hearts only getting 5 stages 3 fresh. So we will be right back after a short intermission for hopefully the very last match of the night for Bleedout versus Gospel. We will be right back soon. Hello everybody, and we're finally ready for the final match of Bleedout versus Gospel. Hearts, even though had an amazing start to the game, getting Andrew out very, very early. So take notes, everybody. Maybe Andrew was the weak link for that set. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But unfortunately, he was only able to get 5 hooks, 3 fresh. Wasn't able to really secure anything else, which does suck indeed. But we now have the big man Cash back again. Oh, wait, hold up. We might be in a little bit of a pickle with a little bit of a add-ons things, but doesn't look like they are going to be restarting. It looks like they just want to run it, maybe?
Hurry!
Okay, it looks like they're just...
Honestly,
Okay, it looks like they might just want to run it because it's just so late, so I guess if... Cash is obviously doesn't really mind just running it, so I guess we are just going to run it. I don't know whether or not that will affect the score or not, because I don't know if we're going to take account penalties, so we will be probably... I'll try and get confirmation while this set is happening, but it doesn't look like they want to restart or anything. They just want to run it with what they have, so we'll just keep on going. Tavi, welcome back from your little Clash Royale little spree during the intermission. So how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine actually. I'm just making sure that I get as many guards on my main account as possible because they're like my currently underleveled card. But I mean, at the moment, Cash doing a really nice job, kind of making LV Duck look like a newbie survivor with that 2-tap, and that's kind of again what you want to see here on the. But he's gonna play a little bit aggressive and push out just a little bit towards this topside generator. We'll be able to interrupt some of the progress here, but I think might. Also, yeah, just applies the eruption, yep, exactly, and heads back to hook, most likely. But I think if you're in Cash's position here, you have a lot of leeway to go for any survivor that you see, and the timeout's not necessarily the most important thing in the world when you're only playing for 5 stages and 4 fresh required to take away this 2-0. So, with that, such an early down, definitely he's in a really chillin' spot here, and we love to be in a chillin' spot on Houndmaster. So probably going to secure second though because he's waiting around here, but apart from this, our survivors really need to step up what they're doing because they can't really allow too much. And yeah, Hearts is the one going to make the play here, but that is a beautiful play coming in from Cash. I actually might secure second here, Gohan.
Oh, if he times it just right. Yo, wait, yeah, no, it definitely does because he's blocked him completely from getting LV Duck thanks to the wait, Hearts don't. I was going to say Hearts don't vault that because maybe the dog might come back and fight, yeah. But I do got confirmation we are going to have a 0.5 towards Bleedouts, but there isn't going to be a restart. Thanks to the match staff deciding that there isn't going to be a restart, but it is going to be a 0.5. But with how Cash is playing right now, I don't think Cash needs the 0.5 because he's already got Hearts dead at 4 gens, which, or sorry, not Hearts dead. He's got LV Duck nearly dead at 4 gens, which is really, really bad for the opposing team. And no one's here to even go for a trade. They saved Hearts instead. What are they doing?
Yeah, I think our survivors just want in a good rotation to try and get the save. And we do see JD coming in fresh from the other save here, trying to save JD LV Duck from this hook. But it's gonna be a trade here, and I think Cash should just take the free hook here, and yeah, he's very aware of his position, but actually he decides to go for the tunnel out onto LV Duck, who takes a bounce landing back towards the main building, which probably has like a ton of god palace, but he gets caught out here, and I think we're going to be seeing such an early death similar to last trial. But I think in this case our survivors kind of just made a huge mistake by giving away the down and slug on the hook, and then the second stage, and things just went out of control. But I think this might just seal it for Gospel, because like
Enough theatrics.
Well,
they're so close to winning.
Yeah, we're already on the full hooks too fresh, so you're not wrong there. If they get another fresh hook, it's going to be Tycon. But then if he gets another hook, it's GG. So if he can at least get JD here. Oh, there we go. There's a cheeky little dog action there. So there's the second gen going to be popping in the background as well. So this is going to be the Tycon as soon as he gets hooked. So JD is now going to be in the Tycon situation. So that is going to be interesting. So we do have LV Duck dying quite early on. JD now is on the fresh hook. And now at this point, it's the Tycon situation. So right now, if JD goes second, or Hearts or Jazz get hooked next, it's going to be GG towards Gospel.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty unavoidable here. Somehow they just need to make like infinite time here on Orman. Like they need to pop 3 gens, and I don't think that's going to be happening, especially with the 3v1 being imminent. But yeah, I guess Catch just really just outplayed Hearts there on the trade, and then that just spiraled all the way out of control, just led to this position here. But I think it's all but over, honestly. There's really no way that Cash will throw this game unless he does it intentionally, which would not really be
Would be stupid.
nice of him. Yeah, exactly. It would be dumb, and it would be like pretty disrespectful. But it seems like Jazz is gonna take the dog over the Shaft Pilot here and give potentially a tag as well, thanks to the dog being fairly recalcitrant. So yeah, still doing a good job, but beautiful spin burst. Beautifully done, Gohan.
Oh wait. Okay, so unfortunately, he doesn't get the fast forward because the dog was right there. I don't know. I don't even know if the dog would have matted there at that point. But it looks like we are just going to stick to here, and we are going to try and get the quick flick over. We do see a 6 hearts or hearts and JD getting a reset while Jazz is stuck here at Shack. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get the throw. And yes, it was indeed a sprint burst play, but he's also got Champion of Light as well. Unfortunately, though, he is going to go down. There goes the eruption pop. And now that is going to be all she wrote, as long as JD gets hooked. Or sorry, Jazz gets hooked, which they are going to be hooked in the basement. So that is GG towards Gospel and Bleedout. We have a very similar result like what we did in the Void versus Band set, because we had a tie in between. I believe it was the Cannibal set. Yeah, it was the Cannibal set that was tied. And then we had to go to tiebreaker to decide who the winner was. So very similar result here as well. So well played to both teams. Unfortunately, though, it is going to be the winner to Gospel. So well played to both sides. So as we continue this on, Tavi, do you have anything that you want to add on to this? Or anything you want to say about our next matchup?
Yeah, I do have a bit of notes from this game. Well, this set anyway. Houndmaster again, new killer to comp. People are kind of like looking at her in a little bit of a nicer light than previously, but not a nightlight joke by the way. But these games actually I quite like them. Well, the first one from Hearts, I liked how he played the start. Getting those really stupidly fast tunnel out onto Andrew was something again. Take notes of that. But then at the same time, Mayo doing a good job of, well, you know, of the macro on the other end. So take notes there as well, and I guess you could piece them together to make a really good performance. But Jazz is gonna be able to get the dog off here and continue this chase. So I guess, okay, never mind. He's a go. He's a go.
Indeed it is. So we do have Jazz trying to do as much as they can for his team here, but unfortunately, trying to get jiggy with it, but unfortunately wasn't able to connect the dots. Cash was on top of it, so he is going to go down, and it is, looks like, who was that? Was that Hearts trying to come for a flashlight save? That was, wait, no, they wouldn't even be able to go for a flashlight save. I don't know what's going on there. That's very interesting, but we do have the next hook happening. So would you like to mention what we have coming up? Because I believe I am going to be different for the next one, because we have a new caster coming in for the next one. So, we'll see how it goes over there for the next matches. If you want to just give everyone a quick flick through of what we're going to be expecting.
Yep. I shall certainly do that. So Zetsubo and Kaito Kids, we have Demo, Mastermind, and Clown to close off the series for tonight. But yeah, Kaito Kids actually kind of give me a bit of a surprise in very recently, managing to actually take a set away from 2 Savage. So it's going to be a really nice matchup for you all to watch fairly soon as we do close out this Handmaster game. Well, close out, I should say. I guess close out the opening, but yeah, it's new caster with me. Should I say new caster or like new old caster in a way? But whatever the case is, Gohan, it was great to be with you tonight. It's been a bit of a journey and a bit of a long one, I have to say. But we got there,
Yeah, that
and
definitely the cannibal set is what cooked it for people out there in the crowd. But eventually, we are going to be finally getting to those matches you mentioned, being Kaito Kids versus the Zetsubo. So finally, we'll be able to get to that game, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, it isn't a long night for you guys there. So hopefully, we are good to go there, and I will be the match staff for that one. So I'll only be doing really the sheet. So that's the stuff behind the scenes that people don't really get to see much. So just the stuff that shows up on the screen to make sure everything's rolling smoothly. But we do have this final chase onto Jazz, and I believe Jazz is actually dead if they go down here. Yes, they are. They are on death hook. So, yeah. And speaking of death hook, there's the down for the death hook. We are going to see Jazz be hooked, and that's going to be death hook for Jazz. All she wrote, and it is gonna be very interesting to see because, yeah, we do have Hearts is going to be cranking the gen, and JD is just going to be stealthing to see if he can see what he can do, and yeah, Hearts is just able to make it away from getting hit by the dog's AoE, which means if he got hit, he would have to be in mending, so thankfully was able to avoid that, but now they're just going to be trying their best to do what they can.
yeah, I mean, again, this 2v1 probably gonna be a little bit of a repeat from the Dredge, as I'd imagine they'll take this really slowly, but should eventually get there. But it seems like can't really find anyone here. And okay, I lied. Oh, I see the little Avila head, little noggin popping out of the box.
We really should
and,
just stop speaking. Sorry,
I know, right,
we
man.
really should just not be speaking about this stuff when it happens, because like then it happens, and then it's just like, well, caster's curse. So maybe next time when we think it's gonna happen, we just stay quiet and then just comment on it. But yeah, a lovely stun by JD, and we'll keep going with you, Tavi. Keep going in.
And I guess he's done a nice job to bait away the chase, but Heart's really not being able to get too many percentages into the gens, thanks to the Wretched Fate, which hasn't really been, I haven't really talked about earlier, but thanks to the For the People that Heart's used, has been applied to him as the obsession, so he does the gens way slower, and I think that's really all that matters. There's actually JD's going to get found here and take the tag, so hopefully this set, showing you all out there maybe a little bit of insight on the Houndmaster, because I think seeing those first chases and then seeing the tech that we saw Gospel just pull off to deny that trade, so then forcing Jazz, oh sorry, not Jazz, LV Doc to hit second, that was just insane. And I guess now with the option information, that's just gonna potentially close this game out here. Hearts, yeah, Heart's okay. Heart's gonna be found and take the final chase here. So I'm gonna start my stopwatch just around now and see how Hearts does in this chase. So, okay, bro.
Good
I
start.
started it.
Good start. But,
And,
oh, yeah,
okay,
okay. That's the first hit. Trying to blind, and what are we gonna say? Oh, where is Hearts going? Hearts has just run away. Okay, no, there he is. He just ran away from the hook. That's fair enough. So, as soon as this chase ends, it's pretty much just going to be GG, and it's going to be towards Kaito Kids and Zetsubo, as you aforementioned. So hopefully, those games won't last so long, and we'll be able to get you guys all into bed right after, or depending on how you guys got your sleep schedules as, because like who knows what sleep schedules are there. But we will be finishing this up and going into Kaito Kids versus Zetsubo. So best of luck to those teams, and very well played to both Gospel and Bleedout. Gospel winning 2-0 with a tie at the very start with Unknown. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be me signing off. So good luck, Tavi, for casting in the next one with your co-caster. If I look here carefully, is going to be Hunter.
Mr. Commissioner.
So, yes,
Mr. Commissioner.
man. Yeah, so Mr. Commissioner will be coming in place of me, so then I can focus on doing the sheets. So, as we see this Mori, I'm gonna sign off. So, everyone in the chat, have a nice night, and I will catch you all later.
Right. And we'll be seeing Gohan on the sidelines. But for now, we'll take a little bit of an intermission as we go on to our final sets for tonight. So Kaito Kids and Zetsubo, let's get it going just after a little bit of a break.